What UVA basketball fans need to know about NC State. Chris Graham here, Augusta Free Press. Now, remember back, all Isaac McKneely had to do a few months ago was make one free throw, and that NC State Final Four run would never have happened. Kevin Keatts is probably done as the coach down there in Raleigh. Instead, Tony Bennett, who was the front end of a 1-1 from an 85% foul shooter away from being in another ACC tournament championship game, he's the one who's one and done, and Kevin Keatts is extended through 2030. It's funny how things work out. Now Keatts is leading his NC State team 8-4, 1-0 in the ACC into an oddly timed Tuesday at noon ACC home opener for Virginia. Seriously, who over there agrees to this stuff, these nonsense time and schedule things from the ACC and ESPN too? Dave O'Brien and Corey Alexander will be on the call for the matchup of the number 102 and number 103 teams in the NET. It seems a little bit like overkill to have your A team there. You could have gotten away with having some schlub like me back when I worked at ESPN Plus, and they gave me a couple $100 to do a game. Um, Looking at the forecast for this one, I consult generally with five algorithm services. I don't like to look at Vegas. Vegas is money, and people can influence that. Three have NC State winning this game. Evan Maya, ESPN's BPI, and Haslam Metrics all have NC State winning this one by one. Ken Palm has Virginia winning this one by one, and Bart Torvik has Virginia winning by three. So tight game, and the score range is right around 60 either side of. Um, I think that's generous. We'll talk more about that in a couple minutes. Getting to know NC State, even Kevin Keatts is still trying to get to know his team. They're not in, not say 9-4, they're 8-4. Already gave the record overall. So through 12 games, he's still trying to figure it out. Three transfers and a freshman in his rotation. His leading scorer is a guy named Marcus Hill, a 6'4 senior who was at Bowling Green last year. He was a JUCO All-American for a couple of years. He's averaging 12.6 a game, 50.5% from the field, just 23.5% from three. The other double-digit guy for this NC State team is a 6'4 senior Jaden Taylor. Now, he's a holdover, just like the third leading scorer, 6'10 senior Ben Middlebrooks. They both played at State last year, but they had transferred in before last season. Taylor played 2 years at Butler. Middlebrooks played 2 years at Clemson. Middlebrooks, you might remember, was a tough matchup in that ACC tournament semifinal last year. He had 12 points and 6 rebounds in 20 minutes off the bench, and he's really good at the being on the back end of pick and rolls. So got to watch out for that, given that you can assume that Kevin Keatts is going to use a lot of pick and rolls with him in the game. Got to be able to defend that. Dontrez Styles, a 6'6 senior, transferred in from Georgetown after 2 years at North Carolina. Didn't play much at Carolina, averaged double digits at Georgetown last year, averaging just under 10 points a game at NC State so far this season, shooting 45% from the field, 35.6% from three. He's a 6'6 senior, so this is an old team, as you can tell with all the seniors I keep talking about. That's the fourth so far in this lineup. Another one is the fifth one will be another ACC transfer, Brandon Huntley Hatfield, 9 points, 5.3 rebounds a game, 53.3% from the field. He's a 6'10 senior. He was at Louisville for 2 years, Tennessee for one. Michael O'Connell, another senior, a fifth-year senior. He's the guy who hit the three, banked it in at the buzzer last year to send the game to OT that allowed State to eventually pull away and win that game in OT. 6.5 points, 4 assists a game. He's a second year guy at State, 3 years at Stanford. So all those guys are guys who have been elsewhere before getting to NC State. In some cases for a while. How the teams match up. Keats goes with a four-guard lineup. I looked at Ken Palm, which gives you a lineup analysis for their last 5 games. 36 of the 40 minutes per game, Keats will go with either Middlebrooks or Huntley Hatfield at center as the five. And then at four, he'll use Styles or Dennis Parker Jr., both 6'6 guys, as basically guards at the four spot. This, I think is going to force the hand a little bit of UVA head coach Ron Sanchez. He'll go with Jacob Kofi, who is more of a four than he is a three. He's basically a forward instead of a guard, but Kofi's got guard skills. He's 6'9", a freshman averaging 8.3 points, 6.2 rebounds a game. Kofi's going to have to avoid foul trouble. He's averaging 4.0 fouls for 40 minutes. We saw him foul out of a game. What was that? Was it the Memphis game that he fouled out of here not too long ago? So it's going to be important for Kofi to be able to just stay on the floor to be able to defend. I see Blake Buchanan, who averages 5.7 points, 5.1 rebounds, 6'11 sophomore, getting minutes opposite Middlebrooks in the post. Middlebrooks, again, I mentioned as a guy who's really good at setting those high screens, rolling to the basket. He's got good lateral quickness. Buchanan, I see him matching up pretty well with him on that. I see Elijah Saunders for Virginia, 11.3 points, 5.3 rebounds a game, getting minutes at the five opposite Huntley Hatfield, and then at the four when Kofi needs a break. But that he might have some matchup problems guarding. He being Saunders might have matchup problems guarding the couple inches shorter and quicker guards at the four spot for NC State. So that's going to be something to keep an eye on. Defense in the paint is going to be a need to be a focal point for UVA tomorrow. NC State ranks in the top 10% nationally in points in the paint, 36.5 points per game in the paint. And over their last five games, the pack is shooting 57.0% in the paint. The magic number there, State has averaged 16 makes in the paint over its last five games. So we'll be keeping an eye on that during the game. I do a live game coverage uh, post on AugustaFreePress.com. I'll try to update that, and I will update that throughout the game every 4 minutes at the timeouts, four-ish minutes at the media timeouts. So we'll be keeping a close eye on that one. This is not a good perimeter team. This State team, 32.0% from three, ranks 271st nationally, so that's bottom 25% nationally. Another focal point for UVA will need to be on transition D. The pack averages 17.9 fast break points per game. That's in the top 1% nationally. That's about as good as you can get. Sanchez, thus, is going to want to limit easy buckets in transition, limit dribble penetration in the half court, double the ball in the hands of the bigs, and make State chuck up threes. That's pretty much Tony Bennett basketball. The issue is going to be, can Virginia score enough points? I've analyzed the heck out of that for the last several weeks. Um, Definitely have questions as far as that goes. I mentioned the computers have this game being in the upper 50s or low to mid 60s. I think that's ambitious. So again, check out tomorrow. I'll have live coverage of this. With an eye towards sort of the preview I've given you here and how things are playing out according to the game plan that I kind of laid out for you here. That'll be on AugustaFreePress.com. Check it out during the game. We'll have post game as well, and we'll have the comments from Ron Sanchez and players, etc.